Hey guys, it is Sarita. We are at the second annual Women Grow Conference here in Colorado, and I am joined right now with the co-founder of Two Dope Chicks, Miss Kiana Hughes, out in Chicago. Chi-Town, stand up. What's up, Chance the Rapper? We love you.
To tell everybody in this government that y'all need to let everybody out of jail for selling weed before y'all start making it legal for people to sell it and make capital off it.
But you know, you spoke yesterday. Yes. You did a lightning talk. Very impactful and powerful 7 minutes of my life.
Well, thank you.
And I love that you grew where you were planted. You guys are doing work in Chicago.
Absolutely.
And we know that there's a lot of things going on in Chicago, both negatively and positively. So tell me a little bit about Two Dope Chicks, why you're doing it, and what makes Chicago so special for this initiative.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, Two Dope Chicks, we are an educational and training consulting firm. We do community education as well as compliance and regulation training for the cannabis industry, specifically about Illinois law and just helping people to understand where things are with the laws right now in Illinois as it relates to the cannabis pilot project. So we also run the Women Grow chapter for the Chicago chapter, and we do a lot of community education, a lot of seminars and panel discussions and all kinds of events for Women Grow as well. As far as Chicago, I mean, we're both from Chicago. My partner, she lives in Chicago proper. I've lived in the south suburbs of Chicago my whole life. My family is, transplants from down south, but they transplanted to Chicago as well. So it's just the area that we know. It's a place that's near and dear to our hearts. There's a lot of, recently there's a lot of negative things that are being said about Chicago, but that just doesn't fully represent the Chicago that we know and the places that we love. And so it's really just important for us to get the word out where we are and to make sure our people are well informed.
Now, you have been with Women Grow.
Yes.
Leading the chapter there in Chicago. How has Women Grow helped and impacted your business?
Well, honestly, Women Grow really helped to give some legitimate backing to your interest in cannabis. So, initially, people don't really take you seriously initially until we have this national organization,
right,
and something that you can say, look, this is a real thing. This is a national organization. They exist all over the country as well as internationally. So I think just having that backing first and foremost as the foundation, and then also you are so inspired. It was my first Women Grow meeting. It was the first time that I had ever actually been in a public professional setting talking about weed, and it wasn't it wasn't hush hush, and it was something that was, it was educational, it was inspiring, and it wasn't a joke. Like, it was real deal, and people were passionate about it. And so that's really, that, and then of course having access to all these amazing women, the educational resources, being able to, have this platform, being able to stand on a stage before 1,000 people and just kind of share my story and give my voice to it. So it's been invaluable in that regard.
What was that experience like, getting on that stage, telling that story, condensing your story into 7 minutes? What was that like?
It was exhilarating. I have done quite a bit of public speaking. I teach public speaking as well. So that part of it, I've always been comfortable with that. But just the idea that I can come and put together a message, even in a short period of time where you really don't have a lot of time to just stand up there and run your mouth forever, but to be able to put together a message that was really, that hit home somewhere, right? And it's always important to me for people to have like something that they walk away with from my message, no matter how long or short it is. If you can't sum it up in a sentence or something, then it's no good for me. So that was just, it was empowering and inspirational for me as well, to be able to pour into someone else.
Now let me just shift gears and find out, what was your first experience with cannabis?
Oh, wow.
Everyone's story is so different.
Well, I should back up a little bit and say that in my family, we had a lot of hardcore drug abuse and drug addiction. And so
when you say hardcore,
I mean like crack, okay? I mean like crack. I mean like heroin, cocaine, LSD. So, just about all my uncles and aunts and my mom and everybody smoked weed. That wasn't a big deal.
That wasn't the issue.
Nobody even cared about that part. But I did grow up initially thinking that all drugs were bad, and I was in the DARE program, and I was, I won the DARE Bear for my essay, and I was all over it. So I was like, I think I even made a poster, and I won all these different contests for Don't Do Drugs, and then just kind of learning more about it. My first experience was in college, so I wasn't someone that experimented in high school because I was really afraid.
Yeah,
and I
you
really
had your DARE Bear.
Yeah, I had my DARE Bear, and I had my crackheads, and so my people that I love, and I'm like, you know what, I equated the two, and I was wrong for that. So, I mean, that's just the truth. No offense to nobody. Praise God, they're all in recovery now. Don't do it. But, that's just the truth of the matter. And so I was like, no. And then, my boyfriend at the time, my husband now, he was coming home from college. We were coming home to visit each other. And he just happened to have some. And neither one of us was ever into that. And it was just a experimentational thing. And then it was just a good time. And so we just kind of kept it going. And I'll just leave it there.
And I always say cannabis brings people together.
Absolutely.
I mean, black, white, no matter. If you're in a space and it's uncomfortable and someone goes, you smoke, and you go, oh, you smoke? You smoke?
Yes, yeah. You can always point. You can always pick people out. Like,
He smokes. I know what you do. And that's been, honestly, one of the most surreal things about this whole experience. Sure. It's like lightning talks were yesterday, and hearing all of your stories. Yes. The good, the bad, the ugly, hearing how some women had no idea what they were doing. It started with an idea, or it started, with something health-wise that they just had to, and then they had to learn. They had to keep learning. And then today, it was all about business, funding, financing, compliance, licenses, et cetera, et cetera. But throughout it all, there's moments of people saying, y'all wanna go outside?
Let's go smoke. Yeah.
Y'all wanna do this? And no one's missing a beat.
No,
I'm talking to people who could be potential investors or potential partners, and the numbers are still ready. They're still sharp as a tack. And I think there's something to be said about all the myths and the misconceptions with the person who consumes cannabis.
Sure.
I like to call myself a cannabis evangelist.
Yeah.
And so I just really thought that was so cool to see. Sure. Because people are in the closet, that they're smoking, they're doing something, but this was the first business conference that I ever been to. And somebody's like, oh, there's a balcony on the third floor. And then, there's a patio on the back. And I'm like, and they're like, okay, but we got to go for the business and the compliance. We got to go. And it's blown my mind. So what do you see for Two Dope Chicks the next 5 to 10 years? And what do you want specifically to bring to Chicago?
Absolutely. I want Chicago and my people specifically to be on the right side of cannabis for a change. So I know people who were locked up for years for a little bit of weed that was found, or they slinging weed here on the corner. This is not Nino Brown, right? This is just little Raekwon Jackson from the neighborhood. He's not out here. He's not a drug lord, right? So I just want, now that there is an opportunity, wherever that opportunity might be, for our people to benefit from something that we've suffered the consequences of for so long, even as it relates to like drug addiction. I told that story about my people in my family, but the harsh reality of that is they're all in recovery now, and everybody is doing fine. If one of them if my uncle broke his back tomorrow, he would go to the doctor, and that doctor would prescribe him with crack again, right? He would prescribe him with heroin and a bottle. And so either he's going to take that and risk his sobriety, or he's going to be in pain. or he's going to change the way he thinks, and I'm going to be able to slide him these cannabis pills so he can get better, right? But if everybody still has this idea in their mind that it's bad, it's a drug, there's no medicinal value, so my biggest thing is always about changing the conversation, getting people to think about it in a better way, in a different way, seeing how it benefits you. And that's really what Two Dope Chicks is about. We have what I call the Robin Hood model, right? Our Robin Hood business model is that we do the community education, for the most part for free. We give the information to the people for free, and we charge the companies and the businesses. We pass the cost of that on to the companies and the businesses. So more community education, maybe putting on some other events. I'm very excited about all the beautiful women of color that I've had the opportunity to meet and collaborate with, specifically this year at the conference, which has been very different than other years at this summit. So hopefully we can get together and put together some real good women of color stuff. I think Tangi mentioned an anthology, so I'm working on my stories.
These stories. Get these stories.
But just as far, I'm really just growing it and seeing just how far it can go. Looking at doing some podcasts and some definitely more online training. Really going to get that online package up and running so that people will know and understand what are the laws. And you don't have to read through a whole big legal document to figure that out. We can put some things up there and you can spend 15 minutes of your time to learn what you need to know. So really just looking to expand and grow and really being able to transition into doing more of this and exploring more of that passion full time and in every capacity.
Nice. Now, last question. What are 3 tips that you would give to a cannabis enthusiast trying to possibly go legit and or turn their love for cannabis into a business?
Sure. Well, you know what? One of the things I say is that before we decriminalize, we have to destigmatize, right? You have to figure out a way to start working that cannabis piece into your normal conversation. You have to get people used to hearing you talk about it. If that, and it takes some time, right? It's not something you want to just pop out and do for a lot of people. It takes some time, but for as much as you can, get comfortable with that. And the way you get comfortable with that is that you educate yourself so you know what you're talking about. So you can know what an endocannabinoid system is, or what does THC stand for, what does CBD do. So you can elevate it beyond just getting high, right? And take it beyond just this is a recreational drug, but start to look at really some of those, what are some of the benefits? And figuring out how does it benefit you. You got to sweep around your own front door, figure out why are you smoking or doing whatever it is that you're doing, why are you consuming, and face that head on and stop, don't condemn yourself. And don't look at yourself as being a bad person. You said 3 things. I probably just gave you like 6.
And
but
the more, the merrier. Hello? Listen,
but
rewind
that's
that
what
back.
I would say.
Okay? Rewind that back is Pastor Bill Winston would say out in Chicago.
Yes.
Get ready for some good notes.
Okay.
Okay? Yes, so guys, again, this is Miss Kiana Hughes, co-founder of Two Dope Chicks. And where can people find you guys on social media?
Okay, social media, we have a Facebook page. It's called Two Dope Chicks Presents The Session. And you can also look us up on twodopechicks.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, so great talking.